What's up guys, Ibra here with Hardware Canucks, and I've been using the Google Nexus 6P as my daily driver for a while now, and as you guys may know, this was the best Android smartphone to get since launch, until now, its rival has emerged. Meet the Samsung Galaxy S7, which along with the S7 Edge is considered by many to be the flagship phone to beat in 2016. Priced at $700 USD or $900 Canadian without a contract, this is an expensive and premium class smartphone, but you get class-leading specifications for that price. Specs-wise, you get a beautiful 5.1-inch Quad HD Super Amoled display with a resolution of 2560 by 1440, a quad-core Snapdragon 820 CPU, or for some regions like Canada, the Exynos 8890 octa-core chip paired with 4GB of RAM, 32GB of internal storage that can be expanded via microSD, a non-removable 3000 mAh battery, a 12-megapixel rear-facing camera, and the last piece to the equation, Android 6.0 Marshmallow with the usual dose of Samsung's TouchWiz. High-end specs are great, but what I'm really looking forward on a high-end phone is the design, build quality, and the UI. I think Samsung killed it this time with the design. This phone just looks gorgeous. Gone is the plasticky looks and feels from the S4 and the S5. They tried hard with the S6, but personally I think the looks and the feel of the S7 are far beyond any of its predecessors. The 5.1-inch display is perfect to hold in one hand, plus the edges of the screen blend in gently with a metal frame via a subtle curve on both sides. This makes the S7 extremely comfortable when held in one hand. However, Samsung's choice of implementing Gorilla Glass on the back makes the S7 vulnerable to accidental slips, and that won't look good on the phone. There are third-party custom skins that you could get hold of from Dbrand or Slickwraps or other companies that could solve this issue, but that's an added expense on top of an already expensive smartphone. I was also surprised to see scratches on the screen of our review sample after just a few days of testing. I'm not sure what caused them, but a screen protector is recommended. There's nothing like buying a beautiful looking phone only to cover it completely with protective items. A few shifts that I noticed from the 6P was the placement of the recent tabs and back buttons. I'm not sure why Samsung still sticks around with this layout, but reversing the order of these buttons makes it confusing to navigate through Android systems, but you'll get used to it anyway. Apart from those design concerns, what really attracted me was the Super AMOLED display. I can guarantee you won't be disappointed here. Colors pop in a wonderful type of way and not in a overly vibrant way. The blacks are so deep, and in fact if you turn on the always on display feature, you would only notice these pixels lit up. Believe me, it's just a unique feature that works perfectly for the clock, calendar, or a custom picture. For comparison, the 6P screen has a warmer tone that I personally don't mind, but the S7 stands out with a much brighter and cooler color space. I definitely enjoyed watching content on the screen, but sadly, what took away from such an awesome experience were the bottom placed speakers, all due to the added water resistant build. Sure, you can use your headphones to improve the immersion, but in other situations, it's also too easy to block the integrated speakers with your fingers, and that gets annoying. But let's say you listen and watch content via headphones. I have good news for you. The built-in app is fantastic. It outputs a clean signal and can easily drive most high-end headphones. In this case, I enjoyed listening to music on my HD DJs without experiencing distortions or fancy EQs. Take my word, this is miles better than the 6P. There's a fingerprint reader integrated within the home button. It's fast, but not as fast as my 6P. The unlock with the 6P is almost instantaneous, without the need to press any buttons, whereas on the S7, you either have to press the home button or the power button to wake up the phone and then activate the fingerprint unlock. The Galaxy S7 is IP68 water resistant. Well, what else can I say? If you accidentally drop your phone down the sink or pool, don't worry, you won't lose your data. The speakers suffer because of this though. The main highlight of the phone is the 12 megapixel camera with incredibly fast f1.7 aperture. This helps to blur the background and isolate your subjects very well, plus inviting for low light capture. The detail quality in dark scenes is there, but definitely not as accurate to what can be achieved with the Nexus 6P. There's a manual mode that allows the user to tweak around with focus, white balance, ISO, shutter speed, and exposure compensation. There are also other modes like selective focus, panorama, video collage, live broadcast, slow motion, and hyperlapse. These are great features that you do not want to miss on a device with a great camera. When utilizing the Pro features, pictures look fantastic with excellent dynamic range. The colors are more vibrant on the S7 compared to the 6P when you take shots in daylight. The autofocus is ridiculously fast as well, both in photo and video modes. Seriously, I have yet to experience a camera faster than this. You also have the ability to shoot 4K video at 30 frames per second with digital image stabilization at lower resolutions, and judging from these clips, it's hard to argue with what Samsung is offering here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. The Galaxy S7 comes with Android 6.0 Marshmallow, and on top of that, you get TouchWiz. I prefer the clean and simple nature of stock Android on the 6P, whereas TouchWiz is another story. The phone comes with a bunch of Samsung related apps like Internet Browser, a separate mail app, messaging app, and the list just goes on. You could use these apps on a regular basis, but coming from the simplicity of Google Chrome, Messenger, and the dedicated Gmail app makes me want to avoid Samsung's alternatives. You can customize the looks of the OS with Samsung's built-in theme manager, but let's face it, some of these themes comes with a price tag and no one would want to spend more on simple themes. The UI has become cleaner over time and memory management is great. You have multitasking features like split screen and app windows. These are some great features that stock Android lacks, but with the upcoming Android N operating system's more refined look and multitasking features, it's a win-win on both sides. Performance was just as expected, blazing fast. The Exynos 8890 on our sample paired with 4GB of RAM does a great job keeping the animations from app to app smooth. The chip had no issues gaming at that Quad HD resolution. Processing HDR photos was done quicker than I would have imagined, and thanks to the excellent memory management and the overall experience was a pleasure. Battery life was really good too. The phone easily lasts a full day with maybe 15 to 20% left under my usage, and this was me browsing through the web, watching YouTube videos, and a bit of casual gaming. It should also be mentioned that the S7 charges via standard micro USB rather than USB-C plug on the Nexus 6P, and wireless Qi charging has been built in if you want to take advantage of that. So, the Galaxy S7 is a great phone. The design and the build quality is fantastic, the 5.1-inch display is gorgeous to look at, performance is on par with what you would expect from a flagship phone, the camera is by far one of the best, although I wish it took better pictures in low light. Features like IP68 water resistance is very much appreciated, but there are a few concerns I experienced over the course of my testing. The poorly placed speakers at the bottom is one negative, and the rear glass sure looks pretty, but you'll end up covering it with a protector to ensure it doesn't fill up with scratch marks from normal use. Meanwhile, TouchWiz is something that makes me want to go back to stock Android, hence still I prefer the 6P in many ways. Give yourself some time to get used to the UI, and you may end up finding it beneficial though. Luckily, due to the versatility of Android, you can certainly install third-party launchers, icon packs, and other elements to give the S7 a different personality if TouchWiz simply isn't your thing. Well, that pretty much concludes my review of the Samsung Galaxy S7. Definitely let me know about your thoughts in the comment section down below about this particular phone, and is it worth signing a 2-year contract with your local carrier? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm Eber with Hardware Canucks. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.